Imagine waking up every morning feeling like you haven't slept at all. You drag yourself out of bed, your eyes barely open, and without realizing it, you're already automatically reaching for your phone. Artificial blue light bombards your retina as you check messages, emails, and social media notifications, absorbing the chaos of the world before you've even had a moment to yourself. This seemingly harmless routine may be silently sabotaging your entire day, your health, and even your longevity. The first 60 minutes after waking are more powerful than most people have ever imagined. Neuroscientists at Stanford University recently discovered that this brief period establishes neurological patterns that affect your energy levels, mental clarity, and even your stress response for the next 16 hours. Think about that. A single hour determines how the other 15 or 16 hours of your conscious day will be lived. Yet most people waste this precious time with habits that literally program their bodies to fail. A study published in the Journal of Neural Regulation showed that when you check your phone immediately after waking, your brain is flooded with dopamine, the same neurotransmitter released during addictive drug use. This artificial dopamine spike so early creates a reward-seeking pattern that persists throughout the day, leading to chronic distraction, increased anxiety, and diminished ability to focus deeply. Essentially, you're addicting your brain before you've even brushed your teeth. The cell phone is just the first of several critical mistakes millions of Americans make every morning. The second is something nearly everyone does instantly, hitting the snooze button. Dr. Matthew Walker, Berkeley sleep neuroscientist, discovered that those precious extra 9 minutes of fragmented sleep cause what he calls sleep inertia, a state of cognitive confusion that can persist for up to 4 hours. This means hitting snooze once can impair your cognitive performance until noon. The impact on productivity and decision-making is so significant that tech companies like Microsoft are now studying how this phenomenon affects employee performance. The third critical mistake relates to what most people put into their bodies at dawn. The American food industry has conditioned entire generations to believe that sugar-laden processed foods, from cereals to muffins to energy drinks, are suitable breakfast options. The biological truth is alarming. Consuming refined, sugar-rich foods right after waking triggers a metabolic roller coaster that compromises your energy for the entire day. Your insulin levels spike, followed by a sharp blood sugar crash, leaving you hungrier, more tired, and less able to resist processed foods just a few hours later. A recent longitudinal study from the University of Chicago tracked 1,500 Americans over 5 years, dividing them into two groups: those who consume more than 20 grams of sugar in the first hour after waking, and those who consume no sugar during this period. The results were striking. The sugar-avoiding group exhibited 37% less systemic inflammation, 28% fewer reported episodes of anxiety, and a remarkable 23% improvement in cognition measures, including working memory and executive function. Another devastating mistake millions make is skipping hydration altogether. After approximately 8 hours of sleep, your body is significantly dehydrated. Researchers at the University of California found that even mild dehydration, just 1 to 2%, can diminish cognitive function by up to 14%. When you choose coffee as your first beverage instead of water, you further constrict your blood vessels, reduce oxygen flow to the brain, and increase stress hormones, creating a physiological state of alertness that can easily morph into anxiety as the day progresses. Light also plays a crucial role in this first hour. Avoiding natural morning light is a profound mistake that disrupts your circadian clock. Circadian rhythm experts at the Salk Institute discovered that exposure to natural sunlight in the first 30-60 minutes after waking regulates your hormones, improves your mood, and even helps you fall asleep more easily 14-16 hours later. Morning sunlight is significantly richer in blue wavelengths that signal your brain to suppress melatonin, the sleep hormone, and increase cortisol, not just a stress hormone, but a necessary hormone for daytime alertness. Perhaps the most subtle yet equally damaging mistake is immediately diving into negative news or social media. Psychologists from the American Psychological Association have documented how consuming negative content right after waking sets up what they call heightened negativity bias for the rest of the day. Your brain literally becomes more tuned to seek out and react to negative information, decreasing your emotional resilience and increasing your stress levels, all before you've even walked out the door. So if all these common morning habits are silently sabotaging your day and your health, what exactly should you be doing during those critical first 60 minutes? The answer lies in proven practices utilized by elite athletes, high-performing CEOs, and the healthiest, longest-lived individuals in blue zones around the world. Let's discuss what the world's most successful and healthy people do during the first hour after waking. The habits you're about to learn aren't just theoretical. They're evidence-based practices that have transformed real lives. First, instead of reaching for your phone, the most productive and mentally healthy individuals practice what neuroscientists call intentional mindfulness. This simply means spending the first 1 to 3 minutes taking deep breaths and consciously observing your bodily sensations. This simple practice activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and digest mechanism, preparing your brain for a day of clarity and calm. A Harvard Medical School study demonstrated that just 60 seconds of mindful breathing reduces cortisol levels by up to 11% and increases activity in the prefrontal regions of the brain associated with high-quality decision-making. Have you ever felt like your day seems like a series of reactions, with you having no control over your agenda? This problem begins in those first moments of the day. When you immediately react to messages, emails, and notifications, you're essentially handing over control of your time and attention to other people. Instead, the most effective leaders dedicate 5 to 10 minutes to setting specific intentions for the day, identifying their 1 to 3 most important priorities before being bombarded by external demands. Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, starts each morning at 3:45, not to check emails, but to exercise and prepare his mind. He keeps his phone in airplane mode until he completes his morning ritual. Jeff Bezos religiously preserves his mornings for high mental energy meetings, refusing to schedule commitments that require complex decisions after noon. These leaders intuitively understand the concept of finite cognitive energy, the idea that your brain has a limited amount of energy for decision-making and creative thinking each day. Immediate hydration is another crucial practice. Before even speaking, eating, or drinking anything else, high performers drink 16 24 ounces of filtered water, often with a pinch of unprocessed minerals like Himalayan salt. This simple practice activates your digestive system, detoxifies your liver, and provides hydration for dehydrated brain cells. Neurologists at Johns Hopkins discovered that proper morning hydration improves neural transmission speed by up to 14%, literally making your brain work faster throughout the day. As for nutrition, the mistake is seeking convenience and flavor instead of proper metabolic fuel. Harvard School of Public Health studies show that a first meal rich in lean protein, 20-30 grams, and healthy fats stabilizes blood sugar levels for up to 6 hours, eliminates cravings for sugar and carbs, and maintains energy levels throughout the morning. Have you noticed how you feel tired at 10:30 a.m. after a high-carb breakfast? It's no coincidence. It's the direct consequence of glycemic imbalance. Movement is absolutely non-negotiable during this first hour. This doesn't necessarily mean a full gym workout, though that's an excellent option. Even 5 to 10 minutes of movement, which can be as simple as stretching, a short walk, or mobility exercises, increases blood circulation to the brain, stimulates the production of brain-derived neurotrophic proteins, BDNF, that protect and regenerate brain cells, and establishes an active metabolic state that burns calories more efficiently throughout the day. Natural light is your most powerful ally in the morning. Going outside, even for just 5 to 7 minutes, exposes your eyes to wavelengths of natural light that regulate dozens of hormonal processes. Morning sunlight is particularly rich in blue light that suppresses residual melatonin, signaling to every cell in your body that it's time to be alert and active. Researchers at the University of Colorado found that people who get adequate morning sunlight fall asleep on average 84 minutes earlier and experience 73% better sleep quality than those who remain indoors with artificial lighting. Now, I want to speak directly to you watching this video. Have you felt that your day starts stressfully and chaotically, and that you're constantly trying to regain control? Perhaps you're just a few morning adjustments away from experiencing a complete transformation, not just in your productivity, but in how you feel physically and emotionally. I'm genuinely curious, which of these harmful morning habits do you recognize in your own routine? And which healthy practice seems most accessible for you to start tomorrow morning? Share in the comments below. Not just to tell me, but because articulating your commitment publicly drastically increases your chances of actually making the change. If this content is helping you rethink your daily routines, consider subscribing to the channel for more science-based insights that go beyond the obvious. Unlike many health channels, we dive into cutting-edge neuroscience and research you can apply immediately. Your morning habits are just the beginning. What many don't realize is that these first moments of the day represent a rare opportunity to program your subconscious. While your brain is still in a more suggestible state, right after sleep, the thoughts and images you feed it literally set the neural patterns your brain will follow throughout the day. That's why high-performing executives often combine their morning routine with intentional visualization or specific affirmations related to their most important goals. Stanford University neuroscientists discovered that the brain doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you vividly visualize your ideal day or see yourself successfully executing a specific goal, your brain forms the same neural connections it would form if you were actually living the experience. Olympic athletes have been using this technique for decades. 87% of gold medal athletes report practicing visualization regularly as part of their training regimen. Beyond these mental practices, what you expose yourself to matters profoundly. Successful people are incredibly protective of their mental space during the first hour. They understand that inspiration, motivation, and emotional resilience aren't random occurrences, but deliberate creations. Many high achievers spend 10-15 minutes reading or listening to material specifically chosen to inspire action or provoke thought. Whether it's philosophical works, biographies of great achievers, or specialized knowledge in their field, this deliberate mental input shapes their mindset for the day ahead. What about digital devices? After all, we live in a connected world. The key isn't necessarily avoiding technology entirely, but being strategic about engagement. The most effective approach is what behavioral scientists call time blocking, designating specific periods for specific activities. After completing your intentional morning routine, allocate a brief, defined period, perhaps 15 minutes, to check essential communications. This controlled exposure prevents the dopamine-driven reactive cycle while still keeping you connected. Temperature regulation may seem like a minor factor, but it has profound effects on your morning energy. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that exposure to cooler temperatures, around 60 to 68 mile Earth, for just 30-90 seconds, whether through a brief cold shower, cold face plunge, or stepping outside in cool weather, drastically increases alertness, reduces inflammation, and activates brown adipose tissue, which burns calories to generate heat. This practice, sometimes called hormetic stress, creates a controlled stress response that strengthens your resilience to all forms of stress throughout the day. The ultimate mistake, however, is believing that any morning routine can be effective without addressing the foundation, your sleep. The quality of your morning is predetermined largely by the quality of your sleep the night before. The most successful people don't just have a morning routine, they have an evening routine designed specifically to optimize sleep quality. This includes avoiding screens 90 minutes before bed, maintaining consistent sleep and wake times, keeping the bedroom cool, 65, 68 degrees, and avoiding caffeine after 2 p.m. What will your first hour look like tomorrow morning? Will you continue the habits that silently drain your potential, or will you reclaim this powerful time to set the trajectory for the life you truly want? The choice, as always, is entirely yours. But remember that this single decision, what you do in that first hour, is quietly determining the quality of every other hour of your life.